Come on up. Oh, good girl. What's that? How's it going, everyone? My name is Daniel Johnson. Welcome back to my channel, where you get to watch me build a startup firsthand. If you haven't already heard of my business, it's called Collude.com. We enable groups of people to shop together online and access wholesale pricing like never before. My marketplace enables businesses to list their products on a website. They have a retail price, they have a wholesale price that can be unlocked contingent if the number of buyers needed that they set is reached. I apologize, I haven't made any videos in months now because I have just been so busy trying to get this product finished. I've been debugging now for nearly a month, and I've just launched the website. We have 9 new products uploaded now, and I'm learning so much as we go along. And I'm excited to have you along with me for the journey. That way you can learn from my mistakes, so when you build your business, you will know what to do and definitely what not to do. So over the past few months, I've learned so much, and I want to share with you some of the thoughts that I've been having and some of the lessons I've learned as I've been out talking with customers and receiving feedback. For those of you that don't know already of the lean startup model, this is something that is relatively new over the past 5 years or so, where investors all over the world, but particularly in Silicon Valley, have been wanting to mitigate failing businesses. So if you've heard the statistic that 9 out of 10 businesses fail, and it's due to founders breaking up, it's due to people having burnout, having the wrong product for the wrong customer, not finding that product market fit. And when you're building a startup, you have to be totally honest with yourself. You have these assumptions of what you think would be a great business idea. Turns out in reality to be wildly different. For example, there's a business that I sold 2 years ago now called CarCloneClub.com, and I was selling car air freshener subscriptions to people who didn't want to keep buying car air fresheners for their car. That was my assumption, at least. What I soon found out, though, is I had a lot of wives buying car air freshener subscriptions for their husbands because they didn't like the way their trucks smelled. So there was just a great chasm, I would say, where what I thought was going to work well in reality turned out to be way different, and it was up to me to really pivot that business model and make sure I was marketing more towards those wives than I was to the guys who I thought would want to have car air freshener subscriptions. So I think that's kind of the very first point which I've learned over the course of me building this startup, is that your assumptions are going to be wildly different than what reality tells you, and you have to be ready to keep up with that. Listen to the customer and give them desirable for what their needs are. It's really important to receive feedback from your customers, but you don't always need to listen to 100% of what they say all the time, because customers want what's already available in the market, and it's up to you to innovate. You have the classic saying that Henry Ford, if he would have listened to the customers of his time, well, they would have been saying, we want faster horses. And so he innovated, listened to their feedback, came out with the automobile, which turned out to be a wild success. So yeah, that's the number one lesson I've learned so far, is listen to the customer. Be humble and take that feedback. And what I find really difficult now, taking that feedback and figuring out, okay, how I'm going to incorporate this into the product. And so I've been doing a lot of going back to the drawing board, reiterating these small steps and small pieces that make what my website is today. And incorporated with all that customer feedback, I've been able to get closer and closer to what the customer really wants in reality versus what I assumed the customer wanted in the first place. So, and I think there's no better way to figure out what those innovations need to be than from your own pains in your own real life. Is that your boomer? Wait, is that your boomer? The second most important lesson that I've learned over these past few months is building an audience. This is the whole reason why I've been running this YouTube channel, really, is so I can have an audience to speak to. So that when I am done building whatever products that I would like to develop, there's not crickets chirping in an empty room. And so it's really important that you stay engaged, especially with your customers, while you're developing your business or the business model itself. There are so many different ways that you can build an audience, and some of the ways that I've found useful are creating Facebook groups. These are communities that you can invite your own friends and families into. they can invite their friends and anyone that's like-minded around whatever cause you're working towards. Creating a YouTube channel is a fantastic way, and putting a face with the brand. I recently got to listen to an awesome speaker. Her name is Allison. She is the founder of The Allison Show, and she did a great presentation on how we need to live the mission of our own brand. That the brand that you create is actually just an appendage of your thoughts and your ideas and your emotions and your personality. And so engaging on social media, creating an Instagram page around what you're working on, making sure you're posting your stories and posting to your timeline, and then including really well laid out highlights. So those are the collections of the stories that you've created to really bring a full brand experience to your customers before you even launch a product. For me, engaging with the audience is one of the most difficult things. I don't feel like I'm a very good speaker. I stumble over my words a lot. I have scattered thoughts all the time, and so as I've taken opportunities to engage more and to talk about what I'm working on, it's really helped me understand what my mission is. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the whole engineering phase of building whatever product you want to build. Sometimes you forget what it is that you're trying to accomplish in the first place. Another great way to engage with an audience is to sign up for your local 1 Million Cups presentation. 1 Million Cups is a super awesome group that meets in cities all over the US, and their idea is to essentially have 1 million cups of coffee, which essentially means getting many people who are interested in entrepreneurship and founding great ideas and discussing them over a cup of coffee. And so the 1 Million Cups chapter that's here in Provo, where I attend, just had me present to them last Wednesday. You get to present, I believe, for 5 or 7 minutes, and then you get to take questions for 12 minutes or so after that. I was asked questions that I had never even considered before, and they love to rally around you as a community. These people may not be your customers, so you don't need to treat them that way, but they are like-minded business people who can find you partnerships and connections in places that you never consider. And so as I attend 1 Million Cups, I'm not necessarily going to see what I can gain, but more I approach it with the attitude of what I can give. And as everyone goes to these networking events with the mindset of what they can give, it becomes such a beneficial thing for everybody that attends. Finally, I would have to say the third biggest lesson that I have learned over these past months of building my startup is persistence. For me, entrepreneurship is such a difficult path to take. I really believe that 90% of the job as a founder is managing your own psychology. Trying to be real with yourself in the sense that you don't want to be that eccentric entrepreneur that is chasing this wild dream and never attains anything over their lifetime, but need to have personal inventories with yourself and to remind yourself, okay, what am I working on, where are my goals, and what am I trying to accomplish? And so I have to push a lot of negative self-talk out of my head, and it feels really cheesy, but I do a lot of positive self-thinking. I may even say to myself out loud, you're doing really well, good job, great work, like giving yourself compliments along the way, because you're not going to get that, especially in the early stages of building a startup. You're going to hear so many friends and family question what you're doing, questioning your ideas, asking what's your plan B? When this doesn't work out, what's your plan B? And I just have to push all of that negativity out of my head. If you spend too much time thinking about your plan B, you'll never accomplish your plan A, and plan A is always what we're going for. I don't know of anyone that's successfully built and started a business that just happened upon them. It takes so much persistence and time and positive thinking to go forward with that. Another aspect where I've learned persistence through this process is not only from the engineering side of building my app and going through bug after bug after bug, but I've needed to be very persistent at finding my early adopters, my first customers that are either going to sell on my website or buy the products. And so as I'm trying to tackle a marketplace, I have a great chicken and the egg issue where I'm trying to find sellers on my platform first, so that when I bring buyers to the website, it's not going to be this empty grocery store with nothing on the shelves. And so it's been very hard to get sellers to come to my platform, because the very first thing they ask is, well, how many users do you have? And that kind of catches me up right away. Well, I've just started. I only have 3 other products, or I only have 5 other products on the website, and I'm looking for my first 10, first 20 products that are willing to sell on my website. And so that's where persistence has come into play, where I have sent email after email. Literally all day now, I have been writing emails, and I'm starting to get to the point where I'm now getting 1 and 2 phone call appointments during the day where I can explain what I'm working on, and I can sell myself and my business to these sellers. And for them, their time is very valuable. So when I get on these phone calls, the very first thing I'm going to ask is, out of respect for your time, how much time can I have with you today on this call? And I stick to a strict timeline. And I let them know how grateful I am that they're speaking with me. And from there, the show begins. So you need to explain to them your vision, and never lie to the customer, but you want them to believe that what you're working on is going to change the world. And that only begins with you and your enthusiasm for that. So there's a couple of tools I've been using to help my persistence of finding my early customers. One of the best tools I've been using is called Hunter.io. They have also a Chrome extension, so when you're on a website where you would like to make contact with like a marketing team, a sales team, the founder, support team, you can just click on the Hunter extension in the Chrome browser, and it'll give you all the email contacts for as many people as Hunter is able to go out and find across the web and aggregate those results for you. And so I've been able to email hundreds of companies now and try to get the word out as best I can to come and join my marketplace. I would say the second best tool that I've found is called Streak for Gmail. Streak offers multiple solutions that attach to your Gmail account through a plugin, but the two that I'd most depend on is their Snippets tool, which is where I can pre-write pretty much a sales pitch that I can add in any kind of customizations that I need when I send an email to a new customer. And then they also have email tracking, so I can see if the email's been opened up or not. And that helps me know, okay, this person has opened my email, looks like they're not going to be interested, where I can see a lot of companies that are not getting around to the thousands of emails that they probably receive each day, and I can just keep being persistent and keep sending them that email until they open it up. So to kind of summarize everything we've discussed tonight, the three most important things that I've learned so far is, number one, you're going to want to listen to your customers. Your assumptions are not going to be reality, and you have to be ready to change and pivot your business model to adapt to the customer's feedback. You iterate, and finally you will then arrive on what the customer actually wants. Number two is building an audience and building the audience early. If that means you need to start a landing page to collect emails, if that means you need to start a Facebook group or start a YouTube channel, whatever it takes to get people to listen to you. Because you can build the most beautiful mansion out in the middle of the desert, and if no one goes there, no one's going to appreciate it. And so it doesn't matter how amazing your product is, you need to have that audience. And number three, what I found is persistence. Getting rid of that negative talk out of your head and keep attacking day after day the goals that you're trying to accomplish. Success is not going to come elsewhere. I'm excited to hear about what you guys are working on. Please post in the comment section below. If you're working on a startup, what's your idea? What are you working on? And what are you struggling with? I'd love to build a community around this idea of building startups together, and that we can help each other. And I would love to hear any ideas that you have for future videos of anything you want to learn from what I've experienced so far in building my tech startup. Bindi and I would just like to say thank you so much for watching our videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the content that's coming out so far. And if you'd like to continue following the story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel below. Have a nice day.